Hey everybody, Brian here, and it's been a while since I did a games I beat. I think September, October of last year, 2022 was the last one I did. So this will be November, December of 2022. So I'm going to start off with an Xbox game. This was recommended to me by my friend Ninja Goon. I never played a Xbox game before, or an Xbox Halo game before, so he wanted me to play Halo. So I played this for his birthday. Um, I owned an Xbox but never played Halo. I played it on the PC, I think on Windows port of it, and I got up to the part where you're in the Warthog, and then I kind of got confused where to go, and that kind of happened this time, but I kind of stuck through it and finally finished it. It was a fun game. Um, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it either. It was pretty good. Um, I saw a part. There was a part in the game I didn't see coming where there's like these zombies that appear. They're called the Flood, and I didn't see that coming at all. It was a decent game. I bought this like for $5, and the first copy I got was didn't work, so I ordered another copy for like 10 or something. So about $15. Finally beat Halo. Um, yeah, pretty good game. I don't know if I'll play any more of the series though. Kind of had my fill with this one. Next up, we have I got this for my birthday. My mom got it for me, and that's Record of Lodoss Wars, Deedlit's Wonder Labyrinth. Record of Lodoss Wars is one of the first anime of a handful I've ever watched. First anime I watched, it was like I think Sailor Moon, Voltron, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball, uh, Ninja Scroll, and I think Record of Lodoss War might have been after that. It's based on a D&D campaign, I think, a Japanese D&D player's campaign that he made into an anime. I'm not sure. But it has your typical stereotype, like a thief, you have a warrior named Parn, and they go into like a dungeon, and it was fairly popular. I remember really liking it, and it had like other series that weren't as great but than the first one. But this is based on one of the characters, the elf priestess. I think she's a priestess, Deedlit, who's in love with the main character Varn Parn, and she wakes up in a labyrinth, and it has like a Symphony of the Night look to it, but I think it has much more different play styles than Symphony of the Night. I like this better than Symphony of the Night. Um, it's very short. It's like 5-6 hours. Uh, it looks great. It has like this. You can use like an arrow and use your analog stick to shoot and like bounce it off the walls to do these puzzles. You also have like you can switch between like a fire ability and a water ability, and depending on the enemy types, I think you can hurt them with the fire or water. The bosses are really cool. Um, it has like the soundtrack's good. I don't remember much of it. Um, it was developed with the guy. The guy's name is the creator is Ryo Mizuno, who did the anime. So he did the whole. He was under supervision of it, and I haven't watched the anime in a while, but you don't really need to watch the anime to get it. It's just like a pixel graphic exploration based platformer like Metroid. One of those where you kind of get your abilities to go further. The map is really, it's really not too big, but big enough to get a sense of exploration. It's very challenging at first, and this button setup, I remember it being kind of weird, where your jump and your attack was, but you get kind of used to it, and you can reconfigure it if you want. Like I said, I got this for my birthday. Thank you, Mom. Very good game. If you want the physical copy, it's on PlayAsia, or you can get just the download copy. It's on Switch, PS4, and I think Xbox. Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox, I think, and PC too. Highly recommend it. Not too long. The story I don't remember at all, but you see the dragon there. You can switch between different types, and depending on the type, it hurts it. And I think want to say like you can switch to types, and then it doesn't hurt you when it hits you, almost like that shooter, Ikaruga. So if you switch to like the fire part, the fire stuff won't hit you. If you switch to the water stuff won't hit you. So you kind of switch back and forth, and that takes a little bit to get used to. But it's very good. I enjoy it quite a lot. Yeah, that's this game. Record of Lotus Wars, Deedlit's Wonder Labyrinth. Next up we have Klonoa. This is the Klonoa Fantasy Reverie series. This has Klonoa 1 and 2 in HD. So if you haven't played Klonoa, they're platformers with a character right here. He's like a cat, I guess, but he finds this guy. I forget his name, but he's this little thing that has a hoop that you shoot. And it was an early PlayStation title. It was a 2D platformer, but it looked kind of 3D, like 2.5D. Very good for the time. I didn't play that version. I played the Wii version, and I liked it quite a bit. It's challenging enough. It's not too long. It's fun. You like use your guy here, and you can grab enemies, and then once they're grabbed, you can jump and do a double jump. So that's kind of a cool mechanic. It's nothing super great, but it's not bad. It's like very good. There's a story to it in the first one that's kind of, it's there, but it does have a heartbreaking part at the end. I won't spoil it. So I played the first one. I liked it on Wii. This version is good as well. I think this is on PS, all the new consoles, PS, PlayStation, Xbox, and I think it's on Xbox maybe, and Switch. So the first one I beat though is Klonoa 2. This has Klonoa 1 and 2. I beat Klonoa 2 Lunatel's Veil. That's why I got this, because I never played Klonoa 2. It's basically more of the same of Klonoa, except you have these snowboarding sequences where you're going into the screen or away from the screen. That's kind of neat. You have this other character with you. I forget the character's name that's with you in this one, because this was like November I played it. The story's not as great. I mean, as the first one, it doesn't really, not as shocking. The one part in Klonoa 1, you don't really get that, but it's still fun. Both of them are good. I think this is a copy from PlayAsia if you want that, but you can get the downloadable copy too. I don't know how much it is, but fun platformers. If you like platformers with double jumps, you basically Klonoa 2, you grab the enemy and double jump. It's a fun kind of thing to do. There are these little items you have to get 100%, but you don't have to do that. It's dependent. You kind of make the game more difficult if you want by getting them. I think I got like some of them, but I didn't really bother to get all of them. Yeah, they're fun. Soundtrack's great. Looks good. Plays well. Good if you like platformers and haven't played Klonoa, either one of these, I'd say if you can play either one of these, they're pretty fun. Not too challenging, but it's not a cakewalk either. Next up, we have Castlevania on the N64. This was from CD Warehouse for $8.99 apparently. No, I don't know. So I've played through Legacy of Darkness twice, which is basically the Game of the Year edition of this. Basically, they ran out of time from what I understand, and they put all their improvements they wanted to make on this game into Legacy of Darkness, which came out a year later. Apparently, this one was supposed to have that story of Cornell the werewolf in Legacy, which you start in Legacy as Cornell, and then you can unlock the characters in this one and that one. So I played Legacy first, and I liked that. And then I played another campaign with Henry in Legacy, and I like that, but I never played this one. So finally played through this one as Reinhard Schneider with the whip, because I like to play Castlevania games when I can with a person with a whip. Haven't done Carrie yet. I want to do Carrie. She's like the magician that has a ranged attack. Very much like Legacy of Darkness. The camera's still kind of tricky to manipulate, but it's very good. I like this game quite a bit. I don't think it's bad at all. I think it just takes some time to get used to the controls, like a lot of games, but once you do, it's very engaging. It's not to say it's like all good. The controls, like I say, and the camera are not great. You can switch between like your different camera controls, like action scene, and like battle scene, and it kind of zoom in and out, and you can rotate your camera a little, but not a lot. So you're always kind of struggling with the camera, but you do get used to it, and it's very. It feels very explorative, but it's not really, if that makes sense. Like, it's still level based, but you can. It feels like a bigger world than it is, but there are some tricky parts in it, like there's a part where you have to get two pieces of an explosive, nitro and another thing, and put them together to blow up. It wasn't that bad, but it was kind of tricky to figure out where to go and not blow yourself up in a process, because if you jumped with the nitro, you die. Once you got past that part, the game was, I think that was the hardest part. Pretty easy. Not easy, but not as hard after that. There's a time limit per se in this game where to get the best ending, you have to do it with so many night cycles. There's a day and night cycle, and you use moon cards and sun cards to change the day and night. And depending on a day and night, things will be either open or closed. Like doors will only open with it in the day or night, and a certain shop character might be there in a day or night. So you have to do it in less time and not buy as much stuff from a certain person to get the best ending. Which I'm not very good with time limits in games, so I don't know if I'll ever get the best ending. But you do fight Dracula at the end, and it's a cool fight. And if you do it better, you can fight another boss, which I think I might have did in Legacy, but in this one I did not. But I would like to play through it again and do Carrie's campaign. I think this game gets, it's deserving of criticism, but I think it gets too much criticism. I quite enjoy this game a lot. Next up we have, well, this is one I won't show because it's a digital game. I beat Shantae. Did I beat Shantae first? Let me see. Yeah, I beat Shantae on the Virtual Console on the 3DS. My experience with the Shantae series is I played Pirate's Curse was my first, and I also played through that again in this month, but I won't really talk about that. I really like Pirate's Curse a lot. Out of the ones I played, it's probably my favorite. And then I played Half Genie Hero, which I didn't like as much as Pirate's Curse, but it was still fun. But I never played the original Shantae, but I did play it this time, and it was good. I just thought that they improved. Obviously, they improved on any other games, but the enemies took too many hits to kill, and it wasn't as well marked as where to go as the other ones. It was quite a bit more difficult with the battle system. Enemies took too many hits, and it was kind of tedious to traverse the world because of it. Quite a bit harder than the other ones, but I'm glad I played it. Then I played Shantae Risky's Revenge, which was a DSiWare title. Came out, I think, 2010, maybe a little earlier for the DSiWare. It was a crowdfunded game that they got the money for, and it takes place as... oh god, I don't even remember the story, but it looks very good. You play as Shantae, and Risky Boots isn't there, the main protagonist, and you got what's her name, Roddy Tops, and Abner, I think, is her brother. Very good game. The map system's kind of takes a little bit to get used to. It's different than a normal map. I can't remember exactly what, but I remember it being different. I think it doesn't list exactly where you're at per se. It lists the general area, and then you kind of have to fill in the gaps of, like, it doesn't follow you across the screen. It's not a big world though, so that's no big deal. It's not a very long game. It took me about 10 hours maybe to beat, and that's on the long side because I explored a lot and I didn't know where to go sometimes. I liked it more than the first, but I still think that Pirate's Curse is the one to play. You do get upgrades, like your hair could get stronger, you can whip it faster. I think you get a double jump, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure you get a double jump. I can't remember much about it, to be honest with you. I know it was fun, but like I said, Pirate's Curse, if you have to play one Shantae game, I'd recommend Pirate's Curse out of the ones I played. And I think you can get this pretty much everywhere now. And this game was kind of a disappointment. It wasn't as great. Epic Mickey Power of Illusion. I've had this since it came out. And I've tried to play through it each time, and each time I just get kind of bored. It's very slow. It's too talkative. It looks fun, but it's kind of tedious. It's okay. It's like a 6. It's like average. I probably will never play it again. Basically, you're Mickey, and you run through this. It's like a throwback to the Castle of Illusion games, but it's not. It's very. You have the butt bounce where you jump and you can jump again, and you butt bounce on an enemy and you jump super high. But you also have a paint mechanic, which I think slows down the game. So you see these shadows in the bottom of the screen, and you have to fill them in with paint, and they interact with worlds. So maybe you fill in a block and it allows you to jump up to a higher area by jumping on a block. But you have limited paint. So if you run out of paint, you have to wait or fill it up with a item, and you have to do this a lot. So it constantly slows down the game, and the game's not fast to begin with. You're kind of moving at a snail's pace, and you unlock like different Disney characters, and they fill like the castle, and then you go back and talk to them, and they give you quests to find a certain doodad in a level. You go back into the level and you find it, you come back and you get more points and stuff. And then you can buy like upgrades and stuff to your Mickey's powers and stuff, like more paint or stuff like that to hold more paint and regenerate your paint and stuff like that. I think it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just very slow, and I don't think I ever want to play it again. That might sound harsh, but it's like just okay. Next up we have, this was a gift from my friend Soulfire, one of the first people I met when I started streaming on YouTube. And this is Max Payne for the PlayStation 2. I played Max Payne 2 on the PC when I used to do PC gaming back in like the early 2000s, and I liked that a lot, but I never finished it. But I was curious about this game, Max Payne. I enjoyed this game quite a bit. It's that kind of jankiness I like in this generation where stuff looks kind of real. Like the 3D is getting there, but it's not quite there, but it's still a blast to play. Like, it's not as hard to move around. Like I mentioned Castlevania 64, moving around in that is, you don't have much camera control. This one you have more camera control. And you have like this slow motion bullet time, where if you have a meter and it's filled, depending on how long the meter is, you can slow down time and like just like fly through the air, jump around corners and shoot guys, and then they like you see them and then you fall down to the ground. It's really fun. It gets a little challenging. It's a blast to play. I highly recommend Max Payne. It's very funny. This guy looks like he's in pain all the time, hence Max Payne. But he pops pills to get health, and it's just a funny game. Like, this is a game from this era that, is just like, I don't know, it takes you back to that era of 2000s, early 3D, stuff around that. It's still getting good, but it's gonna, 3D gets. It's not the bad era where it's like early 3D like PlayStation. Not saying that's bad, but where they're still figuring things out. It's like they figured out the camera controls, and now they're adding like cool mechanics and stuff. Next up, I played and beat for the first time without. Here's the big. Is that prerogative? The big stipulative, without the pause glitch on the Yellow Devil. I beat Mega Man legitimately for the first time on NES. I beat it before, but I always used the pause trick on the Yellow Devil. This time I did not. I beat the Yellow Devil legitimately on my first try. It wasn't my first attempt, but in my first try of that attempt, beating the Yellow Devil, and that was a very proud moment for me to finally do that. I really liked the first Mega Man a lot. I think it's the boss rush isn't as annoying because you only have 6 robot masters. It's a lot simpler. Oh, I got a sneeze coming on. Hold on. Oh, okay. Wait, it passed. Okay. Must be the cartridge dusty. But no, I just played it. It can't be. But so it's more straightforward. The levels aren't. I don't not like a lot of levels in this game. I want to say I like all the levels, but there is no, even that level's not bad. I think I like most of the levels in this. Where other Mega Man games, there's one level that's I don't like Mega Man 2, that level boss with where you have to use the crash bombs to break all the walls. I don't like that. Mega Man 3, where you have to go across the pit and with your rush jet, and if you take one wrong move, you die and you can't refill your rush jet back. That's dumb. And in Mega Man 3, where it kind of drags near the middle, where you fight the Mega Man 2 bosses, some of the Mega Man 2 bosses, but for some reason they don't look like the Mega Man 2 bosses, which is weird. They're just in like a Darkman suit. I think Mega Man 3 kind of goes on a little too long. Too many boss rushes for my liking. Or bosses for my liking. But Mega Man 1, I think I enjoy quite a bit. Just for its more simplicity, and its music's great, and gotta love that album art. And my friend Majora Teddy, check out Majora T and on here, and also he's a part of the Button Mappers. Good people. Beat this. Well, he beat it before, but he got a personal best in this under an hour and a half, which is pretty impressive. And he quite enjoys the Mega Man series now. He's going through them after not enjoying them. He's up to Mega Man 3 now, I think. So yeah, Mega Man. I highly recommend Mega Man, and you can get this on the collection that Capcom released pretty easily now. It's pretty much on like a lot of stuff. My cartridge looks like somebody burnt this. They were so mad at the Yellow Devil, they like burn it with a cigarette or something. And look at the labels, kind of janked up, but yeah, Mega Man. Oh boy, now we got a game that I absolutely found impenetrable at first, but the more I played it, the more I learned it, got intrigued by it, got hooked on it, and ended up loving it. And that is Solstice on the NES. A 3D isometric platformer puzzle game with a big castle to explore in pieces, and you have to do different puzzle rooms to get further. So you have to find 5 or 6 pieces of the Solstice to beat the bad wizard and rescue the girlfriend. You're a wizard named I forget what's his name. Well, the villain is the quest for the Staff of Demonos, and Demonos split up. The only thing that could beat him in his castle, and you have to find the 6 pieces of the Staff of Demonos hidden in his castle, and then you can beat him. Weird, he'd hide it in his castle. It takes a while to get used to, because there's no shadow on your character, and if you're jumping in isometric, you have to know where to jump. But you do get used to it, but you never. It's more on repetition than anything. So it's a pretty big game. So I had to draw a map, and this is my actual map. There you go. So it's beaten there, and then we have This is the first level of the castle, and you see all the interconnecting worlds. So you go through and you die, you map out a little bit more, go through, die, map out a little bit more, find out where all the one-ups are, and you kind of put that together into the quickest route to get to the end while collecting one-ups, potions. You have potions, like a blue potion, it says. And that blue potion, I think, there's a yellow, blue, purple, and green. And each do different things. Like one will kill all the enemies, one will make stop time, one will make you invincible, and so on. And you can get refills on those, but there's a finite number in the game. So this is my first level of the castle. And then we go on to... This is the garden area. And then we go on to the sub-basement. And this is the maziest part of it. It's not that big. It looks more complex because there's a lot of dead ends. And that's it. So I'm going to carry this with me, forever. When I replay it again, I'll probably forget a lot of it. But while I was playing this, I was really into it. It took me all of December mostly to beat it. And I did finish it. It says here 12/24/2022, so Christmas Eve 2022 I beat it. And the manual's cool too. It has like this like little it gives a lot of story. It's like a vertical looking manual because they do it in like a kind of parchment like scroll kind of thing. There's a story talking about the potions, keys. You have to get the keys, then they either open doors or they will change the areas of the room. So you can't, certain parts won't show up until you get a key, and then the world will change. The music in this is great. It's very fun and addictive. This is a great game, depending on if you're in the kind of like that kind of game. Like, this is shot up as like in my age of playing NES games. I'm still finding new NES games. This is up at the top there with Battle of Olympus, Legacy of the Wizard, as games I found later on in my life. It really impressed me quite a bit. This game's amazing. It just takes time, and if you play it and you stick with it and you enjoy it, then it will really stick its claws into you, and really, that's like all I was thinking about, like, where do I go next? Really fun game. Highly recommend. Out of all these games that I played, this one was the most fulfilling and satisfying for me, to finally beat this game right here. And then probably Mega Man, and then I'd say probably those two. I think the rest they're still fun, but those two games, funny they're NES games, but those two games like really were, especially Solstice, will stick with me. Next up we have Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Night. This was a Christmas present. It's a 2D action platformer exploration game. And a really cool art style to it. Very difficult in some parts. Instead of having weapons, your character Lily wakes up and she is the priestess of a lost kingdom, and she has to find other allies who are spirits that fight with you. So the first one you get is a spirit with a sword that when you hit the attack button, spirit comes out and does the sword. But you get other spirits that fight alongside you. Some of them are here. Some will do like a big club attack. Some will do like a spear. Some will do like a ranged attack. Others will do like other things you could get. There's quite a few of them in the game. And you can level them up with experience. And depending on how you, like the boss fights, you will have to use different combinations and find out which works best. The world is big and it's very fun to explore. I think it took me around 30 hours to beat. I got pretty much everything. Did all 100% of the map. Quite difficult in parts. I'd say it's on part with Hollow Knight, but thankfully it's not as long as Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight seems to drag on, and this when I got to the end, it was just at the point where this game should wrap up now, and it does wrap up. And so if you like Hollow Knight, and I know a lot of people do, but you don't want it as long as Hollow Knight, and I'm going to say length depends on how you play a game, because Hollow Knight has a lot of DLC you can do that will extend it longer. Give Ender Lilies a shot. Just expect, like, some of the boss battles are very satisfying to finally beat, and it looks gorgeous too. So, but I think it's on everything. And you can get this copy on PlayAsia. I think this was a Christmas gift. And I think that's everything. That's for everything I beat in November and December of 2022. I'm going to thank you all for watching, and I hope you are having a great spring.